Friday agreement that is now in jeopardy as a result of the way in which the government is handling this. Now, Mr. Speaker, the worst thing about the way in which just today the government has handled it is, frankly, the deceitful way in which this has been caricatured. We've been told by the Prime Minister that there will be no additional burdens, no additional, no new border. None happened to Northern Ireland. Northern Ireland will be just the same as Kent. Well, Mr. Speaker, none of those things are true. That is the fact of this. And I don't know whether the Prime Minister didn't simply understand what was in his bill and his legislation, or he was misrepresenting what was in his legislation. Because yesterday evening, Mr. Speaker, late, the government did sneak out an impact assessment, and it makes very, very clear that for the 20,000 odd businesses in Northern Ireland that do around £7.5 billion worth of trade with GB, with the rest of the UK, every year they are going to have additional checks and burdens and costs and responsibilities. They're going to have to submit import and export documents. They're going to be subject to checks at the border. All agri-foods moving from Great Britain to Northern Ireland will be subject to checks. That's at point 261 of the official sensitive assessment. There is going to be a new border, an agri-food good border. All goods entering Northern Ireland from Great Britain will do so via a border inspection post. Now, what sort of a non-border has a border inspection post? There will be impacts to businesses in Northern Ireland in terms of their distribution. Point 278 points out that there will be extra checks, cost delays and burdens for businesses in Northern Ireland. There will be new risks. Point 294, economic risks associated with the proposals could include reduced trade, business investment and consumer spending due to uncertainty and divergence in regulation with the United Kingdom. That's not just for Northern Ireland, it's for the whole of the UK. And finally, Mr. Speaker, is this going to do anything good for the people of Northern Ireland? Well, no, because the document concludes that it's going to drive up prices. It's going to increase the cost to consumers in Northern Ireland. All of that, Mr. Speaker, all of that extra cost will undermine the political stability in Northern Ireland, as we've seen here today, and it is a disgrace that the government has not admitted it and has concealed it.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Great pleasure to follow the member for Pontypridd. We share a Christian name, I think the only two in Parliament, and I share his concerns about Northern Ireland, which I'll come to in a minute, but I don't think we have that much else in common. Mr. Speaker, people are looking at this debate absolutely exasperated. People were told that this Parliament would give them the power of decision to decide whether we stayed in the European Union or whether we left. And we have this collision, which I've mentioned numerous occasions before, between direct democracy and representative democracy. And the representatives here have royally let down the people of this country, because for the first time, the people have gone against the wishes of their elected members. And the elected members here have used every possible technique to thwart them, and they know it. So we promised to take back control. All Conservative members were elected on a manifesto to leave the single market, leave the customs union, leave the remit of the European Court of Justice. Does this bill do the business? It's a start. It is a very good start, Mr. Speaker. That would be my judgment. There are numerous things in it which I do not like, but it does set the process in train that we can honour what we promised the people.
Does he not agree that one of the most cardinal sins that you can commit in this House of Commons is to vote for a bill knowing fully well what it says and then to reverse those votes in effect at a later date?
Well, I totally agree with my old friend. It was wicked to promise the people that we would respect their judgment and not deliver it. So this bill does begin to bring laws back. It does not yet begin to bring money back, but there is, I'm pleased to say, with this version, light at the end of the tunnel, which is a free trade agreement, which is where we should have gone from the very beginning. That's what President Tusk offered us back in 7th of March 2018. But we've inherited all this baggage from the previous negotiations, and in my opinion, an awful, which I regret. There are two big areas which I'm still very unhappy about.
Da 2 hafta, 3 hafta önce yine 400 kamyonla gönderilmiş silah, araç, gereç, mühimmat var. Şimdi ben soruyorum. Yani burada bir terör devleti kurulacak. Böyle bir terör devletinin kurulmasına Türkiye olarak biz müsaade mi edelim? 2, bu atılan adımların tamamı da Suriye'nin bölünmesine yöneliktir. Biz buna müsaade mi edelim?
Milli Savunma Bakanlığı da operasyona verilen araya ilişkin bilgilendirme yaptı. Yarbay Şebnem Aktop tacizlerle YPG'nin bölgeden çıkışlarına ilişkin son rakamları paylaştı.
Şu ana kadar 42 taciz ihlal gerçekleştirilmiştir. Taciz ihlallere karşı meşru müdafaa hakkımız daima geçerlidir. Yapılan yönelik detaylar anlık olarak ABD'li muhataplarımızla paylaşılmaktadır. Bölgeden 136 araç çıkış yaptı.
Güvenlik kaynakları da 120 saatlik sürenin uzatılmayacağını dile getirdi. 5. gün itibariyle tüm çıkışlar gerçekleştiğinde Türk Silahlı Kuvvetleri'nin sahada ev tünel kontroller yapacağını, el yapımı patlayıcılarla döşenmiş mayınların temizlenmesi sürecinin devam edeceğini söyledi. Kaynaklar bu süreci
First of all, I'm concerned that transition period could be used to take advantage to ruin what is.
Y están las ilustraciones, así que desde acá extendemos la felicitación a todos los integrantes de esa tolda integrante del Gran Polo Pacífico.
Con aquello. Señor presidente, hoy día en la mañana el señor Cristian Eguía, que ha sido el jefe del ejército que ha quedado a cargo del estado de emergencia en Puerto Montt, ha dicho que hay que mantener la calma. Pero anoche los helicópteros deambulaban a baja altura en la noche para causar temor, para infundir miedo en la población. Eso no se hace. Hubo balazos en la población Kennedy de Puerto Montt. No corresponde. La gente de nuestra región no es gente violenta y los vándalos han sido incluso los que han querido saquear supermercados en la zona han sido reprimidos por la propia gente. Por lo tanto, señor presidente, no se justifica que el señor intendente, a quien le gustan mucho los militares, que fue un férreo defensor de aquellos años, ¿no es cierto?, de la dictadura más cruenta que tuvo este país, no se justifica que haya pedido al presidente que cometiera otro de los errores garrafales, pedir estado de emergencia en una región donde las cosas estaban en calma. No se justifica, bajo punto de vista alguno. La gente de nuestra región es gente pacífica, no es gente violenta, pero hoy día lo que están haciendo es provocar para que hayan desmanes. Me acaba de llegar un correo que espero que sea falso, que dicen, se supone que es una conversación entre funcionarios de Carabineros que dicen que hoy día hay que salir con mucha lacrimógena y que hay que crear un ambiente para que se justifique el toque de queda. Que esa es la instrucción que tienen dentro. Quiero también oficiar a Carabineros para que nos señalen si esto es verdad o no, porque de ser así es gravísimo. De estar incitando a la violencia para que la gente responda de una manera absolutamente distinta a cuál ha sido su comportamiento. Hago un llamado al intendente, a Carabineros de Chile, al Ejército, a que no provoquen en una región, repito, en donde su gente ha tenido una actuación decorosa, ha sacado las banderas, ha marchado, ha pasado al lado de las oficinas parlamentarias, de los que tienen oficinas parlamentarias, y no les ha hecho nada. ¿Sabe por qué? Porque es gente pacífica. Ha pasado afuera de los servicios públicos y no han hecho nada porque es gente pacífica. La gente de nuestra región no merece que el intendente haya militarizado la región. Eso es lo que hizo, militarizarla, volverla a sentir, a recibir mensajes de nuestra gente que diga que recuerdan los años más atroces que vivió Chile con militares en los camiones y con helicópteros sobrevolando la Mirasol, sobrevolando Alerce. Eso no lo podemos permitir. Por eso pido un oficio al presidente de la República, porque una vez más se equivocó. Él está en guerra, no nosotros.
Muchas gracias, diputado Espinosa. Se enviarán los oficios por usted solicitado al presidente Piñera, al intendente Jürgensen y al jefe general de Carabineros, con la adhesión de quienes yerguen sus brazos. A continuación, tiene la palabra el Comité Revolución Democrática, que no está, y luego entonces, en el tiempo del Comité Comunista, en primer lugar, la representante del Distrito 12 de la región metropolitana, diputada Camila Vallejo, tiene la palabra por 1 minuto.
Gracias, presidente. La verdad es que todos los días a través de redes sociales, correos y denuncias verbales nos llegan nuevos antecedentes de vulneración y violación a derechos humanos fundamentales de la población civil. Y queremos por este intermedio, presidente, solicitar información al presidente de la República y al ministro del Interior sobre los muertos en este país, producto de la represión policial y de Fuerzas Armadas. Las investigaciones que se están desarrollando, si es que se están desarrollando respecto a las causas de la muerte, los peritajes, si hay coordinación con el Servicio Médico Legal, cómo están trabajando con el Instituto Nacional de Derechos Humanos y otras organizaciones de derechos humanos para poder canalizar la cantidad de denuncias que se están presentando en los últimos días. Es importante, presidente, porque ya tenemos denuncias de detenidos desaparecidos y los muertos que se han encontrado, los cuerpos calcinados, no.
Gracias, diputada Vallejo. Se enviará el oficio correspondiente al presidente de la República y al ministro del Interior. A continuación,
cifra respecto de casos de abuso?
No la tenemos, pero la estamos levantando precisamente en estos momentos. Lo que les podemos comentar como un dato más objetivo, digamos, es que sabemos de 10 querellas que ha presentado el Instituto de Derechos Humanos bajo una denuncia, pero las querellas pasan por una tramitación previa, como ustedes saben, en sede de Tribunal de Garantía, por lo tanto no necesariamente las tenemos nosotros en estos momentos. Ya, por eso queremos promover precisamente a que pongan en conocimiento de la Fiscalía todos esos casos y que nosotros estamos generando las debidas coordinaciones para nosotros poder investigar debidamente todas estas situaciones que por supuesto también nos preocupan muchísimo.
Marta, ¿acá se puede hablar de violaciones a los derechos humanos? No.
Nosotros hablamos efectivamente cuando existen este tipo de hechos, de tipos como de acreditarse efectivamente tipos de torturas, de apremios, que efectivamente esos son atentados en contra de los derechos humanos y por eso se ha pedido una particular preocupación a nuestros fiscales y el rol que va a desarrollar en este sentido la Unidad de Derechos Humanos de la Fiscalía.
Respecto al diagnóstico por región que usted hablaba en un comienzo, ¿dónde están las situaciones más complejas? ¿Dónde se ha reforzado más?
Muy bien, ahí entonces Marta Herrera, la vocera del Ministerio Público, dando cuenta particularmente de esta situación en la región del Maule. Vamos justamente hasta ese lugar con la historia de este joven de 25 años quien falleció tras recibir un impacto de bala, todo esto en medio de una manifestación en la Ruta 5 Sur, en una zona que no estaba bajo estado de emergencia.
Exactamente. De hecho, fue un militar detenido como presunto autor del disparo en esta ciudad, como tú decías, Mauricio. No se había decretado estado de emergencia y tampoco regía el toque de queda. Quien tiene los detalles es Daniel Pérez. Daniel.
Hola, ¿qué tal, Patricia, Mauricio? Muy buenas tardes. Sí, ha sido una mañana tranquila en Curicó, muy diferente a lo acontecido durante el lunes en la noche, en estas protestas que lamentablemente terminaron con una persona fallecida, un joven de acá, de la zona, que recibió un impacto de bala en su tórax y que pese a todos los trabajos que se efectuaron por parte de las personas que llegaron en ambulancia primero y luego en el hospital de la comuna, lamentablemente.
Hasta Potosí, 3 personas fueron atendidas de emergencia. Se trata de 2 policías y un joven que saltó por la ventana del Tribunal Electoral Departamental.
La imagen muestra el momento en que 2 hombres deciden saltar desde el último piso del Tribunal Electoral Departamental de Potosí. El joven que saltó desde el segundo piso está estable y fue atendido en el Hospital Bracamonte.
un joven de 26 años que ha sido atendido por el servicio de emergencia del Hospital Daniel Bracamonte. Los diagnósticos que se han identificado es quemadura de segundo grado en región facial y manos.
Además, dos policías resultaron heridos, uno con un corte en la cara y el segundo con un golpe en la cabeza. Fueron atendidos en emergencias y dados de alta. Y bajo la misma premisa de defensa al voto, el presidente del Comité Pro Santa Cruz, junto a líderes opositores y ciudadanía en general, declaró un paro indefinido con bloqueo de carreteras a partir de las 0 horas de este miércoles.
Tenemos el respaldo del organismo internacional de la OEA, que ya emitió un informe donde dice claramente que está en duda la transparencia del proceso y que ellos emitieron ese informe y van a emitir el final con las recomendaciones de una segunda vuelta. Hoy día nos vamos directamente a las 12:01. Vamos a hacer absolutamente todo lo que dijimos. Desde ahora les digo que nos quedemos en el comité a organizarnos. Arrancamos de las 12 del día con el mandato de que Santa Cruz empieza parando y hasta las 12 de la noche no tiene que moverse un jefe en este pueblo. Yo doy el plazo del paro hasta que ustedes definan que debemos levantarlo, ni siquiera el gobierno. Esta medida la tomamos arrancando Santa Cruz. Vamos a coordinar, acaba de llegar nuestro presidente cívico de Potosí, La Paz.
Integrity of this country. This is our principal position, and we talked about it at length with Turkey. It is important that Turkey shares this approach to defend peace and security along the border. Turkey and Syria have to join their efforts. This is why they need to respect each other and to engage in cooperation. We need to launch a broad dialogue between the Kurds and the Syrian government. As part of such an inclusive dialogue, all the rights and interests of the Kurdish people can be factored in. The Kurds are part and parcel of the Syrian nation that consists of many ethnic groups. We also discussed further steps along the peaceful settlement in Syria. There is a constitutional committee that's been authorized by the UN. The guarantors of the Astana format have worked hard in the past years to establish that new format. But the situation on the ground should not be a barrier to the launch of the Constitutional Committee. On the 29th and the 30th of October, we'll see the launch of that committee in Geneva. We also discussed the humanitarian situation. We need to continue assistance to Syrian refugees. We need to help them to go back to their homes, and that will alleviate the economic burden on the countries that have agreed to host Syrian refugees, including, first and foremost, Turkey. We call on international humanitarian organizations, particularly on the UN, to assist all the Syrians in going back to their homes without any politicization of that. I would like to use the opportunity to discuss bilateral issues. Last year, trade was up 16%. We exchanged opinions on what has to be done going forward. We expressed our conviction that the intergovernmental agreement on settlements and payments in our national currencies signed in early October will be a major contribution to that. We agreed to use the national currency. We agreed to expand the use of the national currencies, and we also agreed that Turkish banks will send digital messages under the auspices of the Central Bank of Russia, and the Russian Mir payment system will be used in Turkey. We discussed other big projects that have been positively developing. We are deepening our defense cooperation. Russia and Turkey are hosting mutual years of culture. I would like to thank the Turkish president, all the friends and colleagues for sincere and substantive dialogue. We are ready to promote our dialogue based on the interest of good neighborly relations. We also respect each other's interests. I'm particularly happy that as part of the intense negotiations, we've been able to come to a solution, and the foreign ministers will voice these solutions. These decisions are very important, and that will help to resolve the very tense situation that we're currently seeing on the Turkish-Syrian border.
Sayın Başkan, kıymetli heyet üyeleri,
President,
saygıdeğer basın mensupları,
your members of
sizleri
the
en kalbi
delegations,
duygularımla saygıyla
I
selamlıyorum.
would like to welcome you with all my heart.
Rusya'da bulunmaktan duyduğum memnuniyeti
And once again,
özellikle
I would
ifade
like
etmek
to
istiyorum.
say that I'm really glad
Sözlerimin hemen
to be in
başında
Russia.
cumartesi günü elin bir
As an
trafik kazasında
introduction, I would
hayatını
like to
kaybeden
express my
Akkuyu
condolences
nükleer santralinin
for
inşasında
the
çalışan
death of
iki
two Russian
Rus
citizens
vatandaşı için
at the
ülkem ve
construction site
milletim
of the
adına
nuclear
taziyelerimi
plant
sunuyorum.
Akkuyu.
Yine
I would
aynı
like to
gün
express the condolences on my
Krasnoyarsk'taki
behalf and on
barajın
behalf of my
çökmesi
people.
sonucu yaşamını yitiren 15
And
Rus
in
vatandaşı için
Krasnodar,
başsağlığı
15
diliyorum.
citizens of Russia
Değerli basın mensupları,
died, and so
özellikle
once again I would like to express my
bugünkü
condolences.
görüşmelerimizde ana
And
gündemimiz Suriye'deki
today's meeting,
gelişmelerdir.
especially your media
Ancak bunun yanı
representatives,
sıra ikili ilişkilerimizi de etraflıca
we've been
ele alma
mostly
fırsatı
talking
oldu.
about the events
Ekonomi
in Syria,
alanında
but we used
Sayın
the
Başkan'ın da az
opportunity
önce
to
ifade
discuss
ettiği
the
gibi
bilateral
milli
relations,
paralarla
as
ticaretin
Mr. President
artırılmasına,
has already
buna
mentioned.
yönelik anlaşmayı da bildiğiniz gibi kısa süre
We've
önce
been discussing
imzalamıştık.
the domestic
Bu
currency
anlaşmanın
settlements.
100
Not
milyar
that long
dolarlık
ago,
ikili
we have
ticaret
signed
hedefimize
corresponding
ulaşma
documents.
yolunda önemli bir adım olduğunu düşünüyoruz.
And I
Akkuyu
think
nükleer güç
this is a
santrali
very
ve
important
Türk
step
akım
towards the
projelerinde
goal of
işbirliğimiz
reaching $100
sürüyor.
billion turnover, trade
S-400'lerle
turnover.
ilgili de
As for
belirlediğimiz takvim
cooperation and
çerçevesinde
partnership in other
teslimatlar
areas, we
yapılıyor.
continue our work.
Önümüzdeki
As for
dönemde de ortak
S-400, we
çıkarlarımız
continue working
doğrultusunda
on the
bu
supplies, and
gayretli
in
çalışmalar
the near future, within the
kararlılıkla
framework of
devam edecek.
bilateral cooperation for the good of
Burada bu
two
konuyu dile
countries, so we are
getirmişken
going to
savunma
continue
sanayi alanında
this
da
cooperation.
çok ciddi adımlar
As for
atıyoruz,
the
atmaya da
defense industry
devam
area,
edeceğiz.
we are making
Sayın Putin'le
big steps, and we will
Suriye'de barış,
continue
huzur
to
ve
make these
istikrarın
steps. With my
tesisi
dear
için
friend, Mr.
gerek
Putin,
ikili düzeyde gerekse Astana formatı kapsamında
to
çok
provide
ciddi
the
çaba
stability
harcadık.
and long-lasting peace in
Ortak
Syria,
çabalarımız
in Astana
neticesinde
format, and all other
Soçi
formats. We're making
manzarası dahil
big
pek
steps
çok önemli karara imza attık.
using joint
16
efforts. We
Eylül'de
are making
yapılan
a lot
Ankara
of
zirvesiyle
decisions, and I
Anayasa
would like
Komitesi'nin
to
kuruluşunun
emphasize here
ilan
the Sochi
30 Ekim
agreement
tarihinde
that
komite
was
ilk kez
implemented. It
toplanacak.
provided all the necessary
Beklentimiz
conditions to
Anayasa
form a
Komitesi'nin
constitutional
Suriyelilerin
committee,
meşru ve haklı beklentileri
and we
çerçevesinde
have a lot of
gerçek ve
expectations
kapsamlı bir
about
siyasi
this
değişimin
committee, so we
önünü
hope that they will
açmasıdır.
start working
İdlib
soon,
gerginliği
and
azaltma
they
bölgesindeki
would bring
durumda yaptığımız görüşmelerin
their
gündemindeydi.
contribution, political contribution
Gelinen
would be
aşamada
large. On the agenda,
İdlib'de nispi
there
bir
was also
sükunetin
the
tesis
de-escalation
edildiğini,
zone in Idlib.
saldırılarda bir azalma yaşandığını görmek memnuniyet
This
vericidir.
area is now
Bundan
relatively
sonraki
calm,
süreçte
so
ana
we see
gayemiz
fewer attacks in the near future, our main attention would be paid to the provision of this stability on constant basis. Turkey, with our Russian friends, we will do everything possible to keep this area calm. We do everything we can to achieve this. So, my dear friends, today, with Mr. President, we have mostly discussed everything in relation with the Peace Spring operation. I have given him a wide range of information, and the main goal of this operation is to get rid of the YPG terrorist organization and PKK terrorist organization, and to create all the conditions so that Syrian refugees could return home. Keeping the territorial integrity and sovereignty of Syria is what we are trying to achieve. We do not want to acquire someone else's land. We are carefully planning all our steps in this regard. 4,000 square kilometers were ridden of terrorists during the two of our operations, Defense of Euphrates and Olive Branch. 365,000 of Syrian refugees voluntarily returned to their homes who lived before in Turkey. And because of our joint efforts, years later, we finally have an opportunity to bring peaceful life to these lands. 3,650,000 Syrian citizens have been living for 8.5 years in our country. And 350,000 of them are Kurds. That's why this last military operation, Peace Spring, we are doing it so that we could rid these lands, these territories of terrorists. All the territories that will be liberated from the terrorists in the future, they will be used to settle Syrian citizens, about 1 million Syrian citizens, and we have shared this information with our partners. So hopefully the international community would also contribute to this important plan. And we are going to work on implementing this plan with our Russian friends, and we are going to sign up for all the projects that would be to our liking. Your friends today, with the high esteemed Mr. Putin, we have also discussed anti-terrorist struggle and the territorial integrity of Syria, and we have signed an actual agreement. And using this agreement, in the Syrian lands, we would not allow creation of any separatist movements. Both Turkey and Russia are not going to put up with such movements. And starting from tomorrow, we are going to put our project into work. For 150 hours, there will be a safe zone 30 kilometers deep. We will be patrolling the 10-kilometer zone with our troops. All the terrorists from YPG will be brought outside this zone. Both countries are going to take any measures necessary so that to prevent terrorists to enter this zone. As of today, both Turkey and Russia will continue to contribute their efforts to achieve the peaceful solution for Syria. And as dear Mr. Putin has already mentioned, we are starting a new period in this regard. So I would like to wish that this agreement would work, would be beneficial for both our countries, for both our peoples, being friends and neighbors of the Syrian people. We are ready to put all efforts, to use all efforts to bring the peace and stability to these countries. So one more time, I would like to thank dear Mr. Putin for hospitality, and so I welcome you with all my heart.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Russian President, I would like to read out the Memorandum of Understanding between Russia and Turkey. The President of the Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin, and the President of Turkey, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, agreed on the following. First, both countries remain committed to territorial integrity and the unity of Syria and to the national security of Turkey. Second, they remain committed to fighting terrorism in all its forms and to counter separatist sentiments in Syria. The existing status quo in the theatre of operation between Tel Abyad and Asanain will remain. Its depth is 32 kilometers. The Adat agreement is very important. Russia will contribute to complying with the Adat agreement. Fifth, starting from midnight, the 23rd of October, the Syrian area will host the Syrian military police and the Russian military police. They will assist in removing YPG groups within 150 hours. Starting from that moment, the joint Turkish-Russian patrolling will begin to 10-kilometer area from that security zone, except for the town of Kamishli. Both parties will take action to prevent any infiltration from terrorist elements. Eighth, joint effort will be taken to assist in safe return of refugees. Ninth, a joint mechanism to monitor and verification will be created to monitor the implementation of this memorandum. 10th, both parties will continue working on a political solution to the Syrian crisis as part of the Astana format and will support the operations of the Constitutional Committee. Thank you.
Türkiye-Rusya Federasyonu arasındaki mutabakat muhtırası 22 Ekim 2019 Soçi. Türkiye Cumhurbaşkanı Recep Tayyip Erdoğan ve Rusya Federasyonu Devlet Başkanı Vladimir Putin aşağıdaki konularda mutabık kalmışlardır. 1. Her iki taraf Suriye'nin siyasi birliği ve toprak bütünlüğünün muhafazasına ve Türkiye'nin milli güvenliğinin korunmasına olan bağlılıklarını teyit ederler. 2. Terörizmin tüm şekil ve tezahürleriyle mücadele etme ve Suriye topraklarındaki ayrılıkçı gündemleri boşa çıkarma yönündeki kararlılıklarını vurgularlar. 3. Bu çerçevede Tel Abyad ve Ras el Ayn'i içine alan 32 kilometre derinliğindeki mevcut Barış Pınarı Harekatı alanındaki yerleşik statüko muhafaza edilecektir. 4. Her iki taraf Adana Anlaşması'nın önemini teyit eder. Rusya Federasyonu mevcut koşullarda Adana Anlaşması'nın uygulanmasını kolaylaştıracaktır. 5. 23 Ekim 2019 öğlen saat 12'den itibaren Rus askeri polisi ve Suriye sınır muhafızları Barış Pınarı Harekatı alanının dışında kalan Türkiye-Suriye sınırının Suriye tarafına YPG unsurları ve silahlarının Türkiye-Suriye sınırından itibaren 30 kilometrenin dışına çıkarılmasını temin etmek üzere girecektir. Bu işlem 150 saat içinde tamamlanacaktır. Aynı saat itibariyle mevcut Barış Pınarı Harekatı alanı sınırlarının batısı ve doğusunda 10 kilometre derinlikte Kamışlı hariç Türk-Rus ortak devriyeleri başlayacaktır. 6. Münbiç ve Tel Rifat'tan bütün YPG unsurları silahlarıyla birlikte çıkarılacaktır. 7. Her iki taraf terörist unsurlarının sızmalarının önlenmesinin temini için gerekli tedbirleri alacaktır. 8. Mültecilerin güvenli ve gönüllü şekilde geri dönmelerini kolaylaştırmak maksadıyla ortak çalışma yapılacaktır. 9. Bu muhtıra'nın uygulanmasını gözetmek ve koordine etmek amacıyla müşterek bir denetim ve doğrulama mekanizması ihdas edilecektir. 10. Taraflar Astana mekanizması çerçevesinde Suriye İtilafı'na kalıcı bir siyasi çözüm bulunması amacıyla çalışmalarını sürdürecek ve Anayasa Komitesi'nin faaliyetlerini destekleyecektir. Arz ederim.
Hayırlı olsun. Спасибо. So hopefully it would be beneficial for everyone.
I'm here for my country, for my people. We are all together with Turkish, Kurdish, all the people of the world. For Turkish people, is everybody welcome.
Als der Diktator, als noch alles ganz gut lief, war alles gut, als anfing, seine eigenen Waffen zu
Um einiges klarzustellen, ist das kein Krieg, das ist einfach eine Operation. Leute, die aus ihren armen Ländern in Syrien ausgeschlossen wurden, nach Türkei abgehauen sind, einfach, dass Erdogan denen die Möglichkeit gibt, wieder zurück in ihre Länder zu gehen. Da die Terrororganisation PKK, JPG alles übernommen hat.
Ich bitte euch. Und ich bitte Leute, um auf den Krieg oder um auf die Operation Und wenn ich nochmal an die Pressekonferenz der Polizei in Köln denke, die
I'm here to present my land, Turkey. We will make a friendly demonstration to that the people, they come together. It's a friendly thing. The German police are our friends, but they came Kurdish, not Kurdish, terrorists. I say to them, come and make provocation. You know what I mean? This place is our place. We have meted for today. They came and make provocation. I talk to you. Which is the terrorist? The Turkish people, which is a land, a government, have soldiers, have republics in it. But she make fights. She have guns, kills babies in the city, in Turkey. I ask you, which is the terrorist? I don't know.
Teşekkürler. Teşekkürler.
Weil wir unsere Soldaten, die im Krieg sind, unterstützen wollen und zeigen wollen, hey, wir sind hier und wir stehen hinter euch. Ganz einfach.
Eh bien, nous sommes rassemblés aujourd'hui en France pour dénoncer l'invasion de l'armée turque dans le nord et le reste de la Syrie depuis le 9 octobre. Nous sommes à Paris parce que ça ne concerne pas seulement les Kurdes. Certes, ce sont les Kurdes qui sont massacrés. Certes, ce sont les Kurdes qui sont visés. Mais cette opération d'invasion, cette guerre, est aussi une menace pour l'Occident, pour la France. N'oublions pas que 11 000 Kurdes, mais aussi les membres des forces démocratiques syriennes sont morts pour combattre Daesh, pour combattre leur supplétif, qu'aujourd'hui Erdogan a relooké pour s'attaquer au peuple du Rojava, pour s'attaquer aux Kurdes, ce qui veut dire que demain, malheureusement, nous sommes face à un danger en Europe, en Occident, car Erdogan est capable, et il le dit, d'utiliser ces Daeshiens, ces barbares aussi contre l'Occident, comme ça a été le cas dans le cas de Charlie Hebdo, le Bataclan, Nice et ailleurs.
Aujourd'hui, ici, il y a les femmes, il y a les hommes, en partie les femmes, parce que c'est elles qui combattent au jour d'aujourd'hui là-bas, les hommes aussi bien sûr, mais beaucoup plus les femmes. Donc ici, ce qui se passe, c'est qu'on veut montrer que les femmes ont une voix, on soutient tous le Rojava, on soutient tous leur guerre humanitaire et on est contre tout ce qui se passe autour. Toute l'Europe qui contemple ce génocide-là, c'est un génocide parce qu'on essaye complètement d'exterminer tout un pays. C'est énorme.
It's become a familiar pattern in Hong Kong. What begins as a peaceful protest descends into violent clashes with tear gas and water cannons. On Sunday, a group of hardline demonstrators broke off from the larger crowd, throwing petrol bombs at a police station in Tsim Sha Tsui. Citing concerns over public safety, the march in the busy shopping district was not authorized by the government, which has been increasingly banning public gatherings. But thousands took to the street regardless.
The government are now refusing to or refuse to authorize any peaceful protest. That means anyone who come out will inherently breaking the law. So that's the tactic that the Hong Kong government is using.
Tensions have escalated yet again following the recent stabbing and beating of two pro-democracy protesters this past week. The new wave of protests has also been spurred by the government's decision earlier this month to invoke a colonial-era law banning face masks, a law many are defying. The semi-autonomous Chinese territory has been rocked by nearly 5 months of mass rallies, triggered by a now-abandoned plan to allow extradition to mainland China. But demonstrators vow to remain in the streets until all 5 of their demands are met, including an independent inquiry into police brutality, amnesty for arrested protesters, and universal suffrage.
American troops began leaving Syria today as a tense ceasefire held between Turkish and Syrian Kurdish forces, where the Americans were once hailed as helping the Kurds defeat ISIS. Today, many in northeast Syria jeered and pelted American convoys with rotten vegetables and stones. And special correspondent Jane Ferguson, reporting tonight from northwestern Iraq near the Syria border, encountered some of those evacuating U.S. forces.
U.S. forces left the northeast Syrian town of Tal Tamr under the cover of darkness. But protesters with signs blocked the convoys. One read, "Thanks for U.S. people, but Trump betrayed us." In the Kurdish-held town of Kamishli on the Turkish border, residents hurled potatoes. As they follow the president's orders and drive away, America's troops are leaving behind men and women they fought side by side with against ISIS. This weekend, U.S. Defense Secretary Mark Esper said most of the 1,000 troops leaving northeast Syria are headed to Iraq to press the fight against remnants of ISIS. That came despite a tweet from President Trump saying he was, quote, bringing soldiers home. Today, he added some U.S. forces will stay in Syria to protect Kurdish-held fields from ISIS and to fight ISIS. In Kabul, Afghanistan, Esper said the move would be deliberate.
This withdrawal will take weeks, not days. Until that time, our forces will remain in the towns that are located near the oil fields.
But we witnessed a withdrawal that appears to be well on its way. Arriving across the border in Iraq, a massive column of U.S. Special Forces on their way to a new base, American flags flying, as Iraq's Kurds watched from the street. In Washington today, President Trump modified his earlier explanation that all troops were coming out.
Well, they're going to be sent initially to different parts, get prepared, then ultimately we're bringing them home. Yeah. We're bringing our troops back home. We never agreed to protect the Kurds for the rest of their lives.
The U.S. brokered a 5-day ceasefire last Thursday after nearly a week of bloodshed along the border. It came amid widespread panic over possible war crimes committed by Turkish-backed Arab militias and the threat of ethnic cleansing against the Kurds. As part of the deal, the Kurds agreed to withdraw from within 20 miles of the Turkish border in areas where fighting is already underway. Over the weekend, there was some fraying of the fragile ceasefire with shelling across the Turkish-Syrian border. Each side accused the other of aggression. Kurdish leaders said shelling from the Turkish army killed at least 17 people in the town of Ras Al-Ain.
The Turkish army and its mercenaries didn't stop their intensive attacks, aiming to wipe out everybody, and even now the shelling continues.
In Istanbul today, Turkey's foreign minister said it was the Kurds who initiated. He said the Kurds were still honoring the pact, but added that Turkey would resume its operations if the Kurds don't leave the border areas.
Harassment fires continue. I think around 30 harassment fires already came, and we lost one soldier. And we, of course, as we agreed with the Americans, we have retaliated. If they don't withdraw, our operation will restart.
Amid the upheaval, not just fighters are fleeing, but terrified civilians too. The United Nations says more than 176,000 people have been uprooted from their homes in northeast Syria, including 70,000 children. Some of them end up in camps like this, in Bandarash in northwest Iraq. Here we met Kasuma Abdul, one of many mothers who now fears she may be forced to raise her children as refugees.
When would you return?
When will it become a settled country, how we need it to be? We are afraid to return. There is shelling, warplanes, and soldiers there.
More like her arrive at the camp every day from their homes inside Syria.
For people here, there's such an incredible degree of uncertainty, and that's because their lives are impacted by a foreign policy that changes by the day.
One thing everyone we spoke with was certain of was who they blamed for this crisis.
Trump is responsible. He betrayed the Kurds. Children have died. People have been displaced. All these people in these tents, it's Trump's fault. He took the decision. He sold out the Kurds.
Kurds like Kaniwar Abdul Hamid told us They believe strongly the American soldiers don't want to leave.
It's not the American military's fault. It was the president's decision. The military has to follow orders.
Tomorrow, the ceasefire between Turkey and the Kurds is set to expire. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Jane Ferguson in Dohuk, Iraq.
Sabitlemiyor da. Sabit'i elini tutma abi. Sabit kamera kalsın sabit. Ya sabit ayarladığımız kullanamıyor ya sabit. Tamam. Şu yani. Hayır abi bunu kullanacağım ben. Öbürünü kullanmıyorum. Gör yok değil mi sana? Yanlış yapayım şu an. tüm fikir ve tezahürleriyle mücadele etme ve Suriye topraklarındaki ayrılıkçı gündemleri protestolarla yönelik kararlılıklarını buldular. Bu demiştir ki artık Suriye topraklarında bir terörizmi görmeyeceğiz. Gördüğü zaman da bu madde iki tane hesap sorabilir. Hem Suriye'ye hem Rusya'ya hesap sorabilir. Bir tanesi muhabbetimiz olacak. Burada çok önemli olarak ifade edilmiş. Yani artık bunda da neyim? Türkiye aşağıda ABD'nin desteğiyle hayatını idame ettirmeye çalışıyordu. Fakat artık var mı? Evet. Bekle.